The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, fans, to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we're off 8-9 points on the S&P cash. We've been kind of stuck here for the last couple hours, somewhere between 2769 and 2772. I'll kind of call it that range. No buyers at lunch, actually a few sellers. Not enough to move the market. After lunch, not enough buyers to move the market up. Again, just kind of a very light and variable move of just ticks of a dime in the S&P cash. So not much going on there. Probably the more interesting part out here is the IWM. It looked like you have at least an opportunity for a blow off top, but you got to see the close. Of course, everybody will be first to pile back in that one yet again. SMH is still the weakest sector, I think, out there, and deservedly so. Anyway, we'll talk more about this, but, I'm just watching a handful of stocks, Tesla, some of these other ones, had a lot of volume real early in the morning. A lot of these things spiked. I was watching one that I've got a put on go up $1. Did so on 400,000 shares, and then the next 2.5 hours proceeded to trade 22,000 shares. So there just isn't any volume off this pop off the low in the first 45 minutes of the day, acting very much like it did on Friday. But we'll have to, I think we're going to have to wait until the last 30 minutes of the day. In fact, Friday was incredibly interesting because there was no volume till about 2:45 in the market, maybe 2:50. And we went from almost double the volume we had at the time, from about 5 billion shares to about 10 billion shares by the close. So the question is, are we going to have yet another Friday close like we did today? Not a lot of people want to buy, not a lot of people want to sell, and just kind of very tight markets as we watch these. You just never know in a handful of minutes what people are going to do. They're pushing the IWM right now. The rest of the stuff just not moving that much, but we'll keep an eye on it. What do we have? Oh, time for a little bit of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1997, a group of users organized over the internet and cracked the data encryption standard, that is the DES, the strongest legally exportable encryption software in the United States. After 5 months of work, the United States bans stronger encryption software out of fear that it would be used by terrorists, but of course, what the hey? A bunch of people in their basements could crack it. The companies design the software such that restrictions are worthless because foreign countries offer much stronger programs in the other countries. And we gave away a lot of business in software for about 5 years till everybody figured out what they were doing was ridiculous. But they continued it anyway. On this day in 1997, yet another failed government policy in this market. Apple was down a little bit earlier. Don't expect this to really do much. We're up 33 cents on Apple now. Got to 187.20. Apple on Friday lost a trade commission hearing, and they found that Apple did infringe on at least one and maybe more Qualcomm patents. Now, because they've done this, and because Apple has been less than forthcoming. They do have the ability to keep iPhones from coming in the country if this goes to the next level. 9 out of 10 times this goes to a judge, and they take the advice of this International Trade Commission. Also, this was filed almost a year ago, so it's taken a while for Qualcomm to get going. And of course, this would also impact Intel, as they're the modem chip that they call it in the iPhones these days. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on. Qualcomm does have the cat's bird seat for these patents. Apple does not like the fact that they can't hammer these guys into submission. And I can say that Apple acted recklessly in trying to beat Qualcomm up at the time that China was doing the same thing. They thought, well, we can beat these people into submission. All we got to do is to keep hammering on them. Now, Apple is the odd man out. And the question is whether or not how far Qualcomm will push it. If they get the ability to keep Apple iPhones, they could get 3 different models, including the flagship model, and keep it out of the country. And that could be within a couple of months. So keep a close eye on Apple and this legal stuff going on here. Let's go ahead and start looking at some charts. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Keep an eye on out here. I haven't really gone anywhere. Okay. Just keeping an eye on a few of the things here. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the IWM. It's starting to pop. Look like you could make a case for a blow-off top on this. The way it ran today, now it's going back up. 187.47 was the high. Today, you got 10.7 million shares, 25 million shares on Friday. And you really didn't go much higher. It just kind of stayed in the training range. So you're going to be higher with a lot less volume. What you really have to watch out for is a retracement back on this. And anything below a close of about 167 would be a fairly decent blow-off top in the IWM. We're up 34 cents at the moment. Handful of other stocks doing this. Again, probably the worst sector out here today is the SMHs. These guys are making a little hammer out here today. My guess is that this is coming back to about 105. And I don't know if there's a whole lot else you can say about it. You gapped down. You had huge volume at about 4.7, almost 4.8 million shares. Today we're down with 3.7 million shares. So you're going to get kind of close to that high day. You blew off up to 112 up here at 9 million shares. That was on the 7th. So keep an eye on this one. It is kind of the weakest one. If it can't really get much going on today, probably make a case that this is not an ABC on the way down, and certainly not a lot of juice during the day as we push back. But keep an eye in the sky. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
S&P cash off 7.5 points, 3.7 billion shares. So a fairly light volume day. Did get to a lower low than Friday. And now we're bouncing and there's not a lot of juice. Dollar is up 7 cents. We did go to the September contract and rolled over on Friday. So this is a little bit lower. 94.52, up 7 cents as we speak. Now, when we look at commodities, gold's up about $4, silver's up 3.5 cents, platinum's off $2.80, and copper's off about a penny and a half. And I guess other than that, energy's up a little bit ahead of OPEC, but I don't know if you can write a lot into that. Again, probably the more interesting thing is how the end of the day closes out here for us. So let's go ahead and take a look at some others. Some of the ones that want to scare you out here are huge volume in Tesla. This has got some 32% short interest in it. Friday, we had 11 million shares. Today, we got about 9.2 million shares. You're going to have that. You're going to go into some lower volume highs at this 360 area that we're breaking through today. There is a gap when this started on the way back down. That was on the 19th of September of 2017. Now, what are we looking for out here? This thing, can it get a couple more days, get back up into these highs? The answer is it probably can. You have a lot of juice coming up here. And the question is whether or not the shorts quit shorting. I'll really start watching the data in the last couple of days. But if we give the shorts give up here, then you're probably looking at a fairly decent high at 390. A stock that's probably worth about some $40 needs to add about $20 billion in debt. And yet, nobody's noticing right now. And you got basically the short squeeze from hell for anybody that is short this right now. But you know what? When I see those, I know I'm probably fairly close to a high in the indexes because they all like to run everybody out just before the market turns. So it's always the most important thing to keep an eye on. That is, when these things, when the dogs start running, you really should be, a lot of people, they get all giddy. I get fearful. When everybody gets fearful, I want to try to be giddy and thinking, oh, I could get some neat buys out here. One of the ones that was the biggest stock for me over time, I need to go back 10 years on this, so give me just a second, was Perry Ellis. Bought this in 2009, and I'll always remember it. Came down on November 14th of 2008. Had at $2.40 with 800,000 shares. Had one of the more beautiful patterns out here. Didn't quite test it on February 2nd of 2009, but guess what? Back in there in that March time frame, I think it was like March 5th or something, and March 30th. Maybe it was it April 5th? I think it must have been April 5th, right in here. Tested with 165,000 shares, went below that $2.40 line. And, well, it was one of the biggest winners I had in a while, $2 stock that I think eventually sold out at 14 bucks. It actually went to like 18 before it started coming back down. These buys off these extended pullbacks always are great. And this one, along with 4 other stocks that I bought at that low, I'll always remember these. I need to save this data. The reason why, this thing's being taken private today. It actually came down and was stopped for a little while, but it's coming back. Be a stock that I will always remember. At those lows, I went and looked and found every stock that I could find that was testing those lows on lighter volume. Perry Ellis was one. CSIQ was another one that I bought. Handful of other stocks, but those were the ones that I'm going to say made me as a trader know that over time, if I can take advantage when everybody is scared, hoopless. So can I use that word? That is it. So anyway, we're going to watch the end of the day. It is going to be very important, and no more than the weakest ones out there and what they do today. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can also call me at 877-927-6648 or put a message in the den. I know it's kind of a quiet day out here. Anything going on in NVIDIA, John asks. John from Wichita, Kansas. I've never heard John from Wichita, Kansas, but we got him today. So what do we have? Okay. You just got some light volume pullbacks. Again, this is the strongest part of the SMHs. And with that, I would want to, you don't have much volume out here. You got 2 dojis. I think there are a lot out here that are a lot weaker. But again, if this one even has a little weakness and gets a cold, the rest of them are going to get Ebola, especially when we look at the SWKS. The rest of this sector, who had kind of a spike, tried to push higher up here, starting to pull back a little bit in Skyworks Solutions. We'll look at Avago. But the problem is we know that the volume is down about 20% between now and the end of the year, whether it's Samsung or Apple. All the big flagship companies are telling us that cell phone sales are lighter. My guess is it will take a lot of new features with 5Gs to start getting this one up. Now, the energy off this low for Skyworks, 85.81 up to 104. If we look at this as a ABC on the way down, you basically did a 618 up to that spike at 104.20. And a 1-to-1 would take you back to $74. I don't think this is beyond the scope of reason. And the reason why, because chip stocks, as much as everybody wants to make believe that there's always a constant amount of demand for them. People change brands when they're designing their chips, depending on what new stuff is available at the time. But to me, it's just that we're getting ready for that upgrade cycle that we saw for, I don't know, 4 or 5 times in the computer business from the mid 80s up until probably the mid 2000s, maybe 2005. And something changed, and that was the way that they made capacitors for power supplies. They started to use sealed ones that didn't blow up all the time, so you didn't blow up your computer all the time. So computers have lasted a lot longer now that they're using those hermetically sealed and better capacitors that used to fail a great deal. That kind of let Microsoft also sit on a certain edition of Windows for probably a lot longer than they needed to. But if you're looking for some big ABCs, I think we're probably going to have some nice ABCs to the downside in the semiconductor space, especially around smartphones. And then those were probably going to be some of the best buys when they do find a low. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're off 6 points on the S&P cash. What else do we have up here? Dow's off 120, Nasdaq's off 2, the Russell's up 3. So Russell continues to outperform. And yeah, we'll see what's going on. Question to look at Akamai, AKAM. Take a quick look at that. Well, it has gone higher. Energy's okay. Volume was 3.5 million shares. That was just a little under that March 9th high, so there is nothing to write home about. Today, the volume stinks, 1.1 million shares as we went to 82.48. So yeah, this could probably pull back to 78.28 and under fairly quickly on any kind of sales in this. What else do we have? Okay, I want to look at the OIH. Up a little bit today. Certainly not tracking the strength that we see in crude going into the OPEC meeting. Let's take a quick look at the SCO, which is what I've been playing out here. You had the big run on Friday, lots of volume. You've got an inside day today. Opened up a little higher and then pulled back, but no real juice. So the question is, can you sit through this week and the OPEC meetings? They certainly don't look like there's any kind of consensus going into it. And I think you can make a case for an ABC on the way up. I'm thinking that we broke 65. If we get to about 67.50, 68 bucks on West Texas, let's see what we're at right now. Okay, 65.81. So you get to 67, 67 and a half, and there's no juice. I think you got the opportunity for a fairly decent move up and an ABC on the way back up. That would take crude probably back down to about 62 bucks. And everything I see, including the rig numbers from Canada, 19 new rigs last week in Canada. Now that the weather's good up there, they're firing up everything they can. And I don't know if there's anything else you can say about that. Natural gas is off 7.5 cents at $2.95, hair under, 2.946 actually. It's the last tick I see. And anything else in that? No. Now Microsoft closed just about at 100 on Friday, which is what we were looking for. It got down to 94 or 99.42. Not a lot of juice in this one. Closed on Friday at $100.13, which is about where I was looking for on options. Bounced today on almost nothing, 15.8 million shares. Some good things going on in Microsoft, but I don't think they're going to make this quarter. So I don't think you can add a lot into this one already. Maybe they talk it up during their next earnings call, but to me, this looks like it's probably kind of topped out for a little bit. You want kind of a pullback before this thing goes higher. Rent-A-Center, another stock out here going private today. So no chance of getting out of this one. $14.78. Kind of interesting to see this thing going private. I didn't know it was doing so poorly, but certainly a nice little pop out here for $12.25 to $14.78 today on that one. What else do we have out here? CRZO, which is Carrizo Oil. Again, this was a nice day, just finding a little bit of support in crude. This one has a big candle down on Friday on 4 million shares, up today on 2.2 million shares. Yeah, I know that. Somebody making a comment about Rent-A-Center being loan sharks, basically is what they are, but it's kind of interesting. One of the stocks that makes me think that we've got some additional weakness in this market coming has been Digital Realty Trust. And probably the most interesting thing to me is this thing had massive shorting on the 8th of this month. Went to a high, went to another high the next day. on a little lighter volume, started pulling back, had a huge down day on the 13th. It's kind of been going sideways out here, still lower today, not a lot of juice. But the more important thing was out here was that this thing was massively shorted right up here on the 6th, 8th, when it had almost no shorts at all. So it certainly looked like somebody figured out that this thing was ready to top out and pull out back a little bit. The real reason I keep an eye on this is as a canary in the coal mine. And this thing's been kind of weak for a little while, which would suggest that startup money may be getting a little bit thin in the valley, and people probably more interested in putting their money into late stage operations instead of startups that all need the services of DLR and the places that have their equipment. 2773 on the S&P cash. Again, not a lot of juice either way, up or down this afternoon. It was all over, but the shouting probably by about 10:30. The push up again, kind of like Friday, not a lot of juice. Anything closed below 2771, which I think was Friday's low, would be very interesting in the fact that it did try to go back up over this high and couldn't find any buyers enough anyway to hold it up for a day. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. What else do we have? Question about the TLT. We'll get into that. Okay. Question about Draper's referendum for 3 California replace the one. It's on the fall ballot. It will never happen. No one's going to give California a whole bunch of additional senators and or congressmen. So ain't going to happen, which is, I think, the idea behind that, right? But I don't know. A lot of other big states already think that they're kind of getting pushed around for that. Probably should have been L.A. and San Francisco, and the rest another state. But yeah, there's no way that that can work financially. You've got probably the widest disparity in earnings between the rest of the state and San Francisco and some places in LA. And if you got rid of those people with all the money, the other 2 states would be broke, especially if they had to carry the entitlements that were going on. So I don't know how you'd make it work financially. I don't think how you can make it work politically either. No one wants to see a bunch of new congressmen and or senators all ganging up on them. It's a deal that's done. It's going to be back after.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The Taz Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the Taz Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Taz Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the Taz Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're keeping an eye on the S&P here. We're off 6 points on the S&P. The Dow's still off 120. NASDAQ's flat on the day. Russell's up 4. So everybody keeps crowding in to a very crowded trade on those small caps already. So we'll keep an eye on it. Touching the high of the day in the SMHs. So we'll see whether there's any desire to get back into those today. Still off $1.40. We looked at the OH. What else are we looking at here? Let's take a look at the IBB. Well, you did gap down. Went up to 111.75 on Friday. This is a break of this trend line. Not a lot of juice so far. I would imagine that you'll get or could get one more test of the high out here, or at least 111, and then maybe a failure. Pullback would probably be at about 106.50. This candle on the 29th of May looks rather interesting. Okay. And a question about the GDX. I don't see any different than what we talked about before. These are in big triangle formations. You did gap down, but really not enough to break out the triangle on this one. In fact, let's go ahead and mark this one up, which is this one right here. And again, we've got this big triangle formation up here. You know, you're kind of just on the bottom of that trend line on the way back up. Let me get that kind of that. You're right at it. So I'm not going to call this a solid break of this triangle yet. You'd really like to see something in the GDX like 2175, something like that, 2175 out here. And, you know, you had your gap down. Maybe you get two more gap downs, and that finally sets up the low. out here that it's buyable, but I don't see anything right now a great deal. What else do we have? Everybody wants to look at anything in UNG. I don't think so. I mean, traditionally, if this thing isn't doing anything right now, I mean, you've had an uptrend that's taken forever to go from 2156. I would have died 100 times waiting for this thing to move. You're still in an upline in this uptrend, but my guess is that you want to pull back somewhere around August. You get a real hot August, maybe you get a bottom out here that you can buy for the fall. But I don't see anything or any reason to get into this one right now. Question to look at emerging markets. The one I always like to look at is emerging markets bear share. This thing gapped up fairly strongly today. Everything pretty much weak in Europe and Asia. This is going back up into the high of February 9th that had 843,000 shares. Pretty weak day, 340,000 shares. You've got two gaps in this last move. Maybe you get one more gap up here to this 49.74, and that would be maybe a signal on light or heavy volume. Right now it's fairly light, so there's not much going on. Nice trend from 35.29 back up to 49 bucks, but what'd that take? March 13th to now? Yeah, pretty tough to sit on that one. Dropbox. You got three advancing, what do they call them? Three advancing shoulders out here. This one has had a kind of a story about them getting bought out. I kind of think that this one's rather dubious. You've got the opportunity to maybe come back out here. Somebody bringing up about some of the mines in South Africa being confiscated. I brought this up before. I don't like South African mines. But the bigger problem I see out there is the guy that's running it is basically saying that he's not going to kill white people just yet, but you hang around a little longer and we'll start. I think that was over the weekend. Might give you an indication that things are still getting hotter, not better in South Africa. I'm trying to remember where I saw that. I'll try to find the article in the next break, but don't hear a lot about people bringing that up, but it seemed to me, you know, you could get the world involved in some kind of racism like that. Maybe you could prevent something, but you never know. We looked at Apple, looked at some other ones. Want me to look at DDD? Okay. 3D Systems. Is that his name? I forgot it. I read the article either Friday night or Saturday. Yeah, we're not going to kill you yet. We'll start killing you, though, pretty soon. I won't promise never to kill you. But it was kind of interesting. 3D, a lot of these stocks just going sideways. This one, I don't think you can make a big case on. I want it to come back down to 1250, or at least, let me put it this way, I'm hoping it comes back down to 1250 and gives us an opportunity to get in it. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, we're going to look at another one, VSTM. Why did I want to look at this? Another one with a huge gap up. This one's got two gaps, looking for a third like this, and that one probably would be the one to sell out. I'm trying to remember what these guys do. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And biopharma company focuses on developing and commercializing drugs for the treatment of cancer. They must have had some kind of good news out here. Nice gap, nice volume, nice move up on Friday, but certainly from what, $5.50 to $8.74 in 2 days. That's the way that these things move. Question about Netflix. I see anything out here? Well, you certainly haven't broken the uptrend yet, but you have gone sideways for 3 days. Kind of Facebook doing the same thing. It's running all the shorts. Another move out here. Not a lot of volume, especially today. Friday, you had 22 million shares. Today, you got 12.3 million shares. Even Thursday, you had 19 million shares. So a very light volume day out here as this one tries to test $200. My guess is you'll probably find a little resistance. We'll be back after this. Last segment coming up. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always post a message in the den. Off 8 points in the S&P cash.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're off 9 points on the S&P cash. So pushed for what? 2-3 hours to get up 3 points. Gave them all back in 5 minutes here. So we'll see how the market closes today. But you know, it's just one of these things where if you traded up in the .com days or traded in 2008 back into that May high, I think it was May 5th. Some of these, you know, when they're going to be big, these highs just kind of hang on like a loose tooth in a kid's head for weeks. And unless someone pulls it, they just kind of dangle around there. I don't see any reason to be long this market. I continue to think that the money is going to be short. And I have a lot of out of the money puts for July 20th. And I'll be adding to those unless something comes along and proves me wrong. But to this point, the heavy days have been with volume, have been to the downside, not the upside. I see a lot of stocks like Tesla, which is now, it's off, what, $7-8 off its high, running shorts. Those are always good signals that you're getting very close to a big move because as you've heard it here on TFNN for, what, 18, 20 years? How long have TFNN been around? Market likes to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time. That's because they all love to climb in at the highs. So you got to watch it out here. When everybody else is feeling giddy, you should feel fearful. When everybody else is fearful, you should be kind of giddy and thinking about how you can buy that low, like we talked about Perry Ellis or CSIQ back there in 2009, because that's where the big money is. A lot of these little trades out here are not going to matter a hill of beans in 10 years to you. But catching the high end of a short market or the bottom of a big long-term market, you'll make enough money that blow away the returns of most people for the next 5 or 10 years. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, out when you can.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends. Throughout the week, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.